Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. Good to have you with us. It is hashtag Finally Friday. It's also Film Friday. We've got some special guests joining us shortly. But my co-host this morning, Dr. Natalie Garza, HCC History Professor. She's here with us. Good to see you, Natalie.
Good morning. It's good to see you too.
Well, we've got a weekend coming up, last show of the week, and we've got a busy show coming up. So we want to first remind everyone that we are live just about every morning on Facebook and YouTube. And Natalie, they can catch us on social media and anytime on HCC TV as well.
Yes, we're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and on HCC TV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
All right. So, Natalie, you're going to be interviewing this next guest. We've got a member of our faculty, the chair of HCC's Chemistry Department, Dr. Grace Zoorob. Grace, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we're looking forward to hearing all about the chemistry program and what you guys have going on. We'll be with you. Natalie will be with you in about 10 minutes. All right. Good. We're going to kick things off for Film Friday, talking about our own filmmakers here at HCC and about the HCC program. Kate Phillips is an instructor in filmmaking with the Media, Visual, and Performing Arts Center of Excellence. Welcome back to the show, Kate. Good to see you this morning.
Thank you. Good to see you as well.
Now, as we're very aware, fall is coming up very quickly. Hard to believe we're already talking about fall 2023. But tell us about the filmmaking internship program that's available for our students.
Yes, I wanted to come on today to talk about this because it's a great opportunity that we have for our filmmaking students. I teach the course and have for a couple semesters now, and we have a lot of employers around the city of Houston who have a lot of opportunities for our students, but I don't see high registration in this class a lot of the time. So I think a lot of students aren't really aware of it. In the course catalog, it's called cooperative education, which doesn't really mean anything to anybody. And so I kind of want to just get the word out a little bit about this class, FLMC 2380, Cooperative Education. It is the internship course. The students complete, I think right now it's a minimum of 240 hours of internships with an outside employer. And we have great opportunities. As you probably know from interviewing most of us, a lot of the faculty here in the filmmaking department are filmmakers ourselves. And so we're always making films as well, looking for students to work with us on those. There's a lot of opportunities to get involved in the Houston film scene, and the internship class is really one of the best pipelines and pathways for that.
Well, you hit the nail on the head, because I'll say, I always, when I talk with students, the importance of having an internship, about half the employees we have at HCC TV came up as interns, and then were work study. And then, even our director here was work study and intern. Now he's a full-time employee, and he's been here for many years, Nathan Hale. So, it's invaluable. And many, many years ago, I'm not going to say how long, there was a certain time in my life where I just graduated from the University of Houston. Their internship program was very complicated to get into. I already have my degree, and I had an opportunity for an internship with Fox 26. And the news director told me, if you go over to HCC, you can sign up for an internship course, even though you have your degree, and just simply come work through us through their internship course. So that's exactly what I did. And of course, I wound up working for them for about 11 years, a little ways down the road. So internships are very, very important, and I appreciate what you guys do, because you know the value of it as well.
Absolutely. It's where I got my start as well. And that's why I feel so strongly about it. When I was in college myself at University of Texas, Austin, I was in the film program, and they had a semester in LA that I was lucky enough to go to. It was funny. We were living in these it was hilarious, but we did an internship throughout it. And that is how I got my start in the film industry. It got me my first job working as an assistant at Warner Brothers. And it started my entire career. And then when I was as an assistant there, because a lot of reasons that the way the film industry works, and I was the only woman in the office, they just dumped the internship program on me. But I took that as a great opportunity, because I loved bringing students in, training them. And then I discovered something amazing from that those people that I then trained and mentored then went on to have careers of their own. And now we scratch each other's back, and so
Yeah.
I think internship is, like you said, is a great pathway for entering a career, but it's also the beginnings of making those chains of mentorship that are really essential, especially in the media field where there aren't traditional pathways towards advancement. We really need, I always think of it, you need a linking chain. You need your mentors, the people who got you there, and then you always need to be down and helping others. And so you have like a full chain going, that will always keep you working, keep you involved, keep you in a network. So yeah, I couldn't speak more highly of internships. They've done everything for me.
What type of job opportunities are there out there for our students who may have, because of this internship class?
Yeah, it's a good question because we aren't in a city like LA. Some people might wonder what is there out there, but there is a lot of production that happens in Houston. There's also, as our film students know, hopefully at this point, and hopefully most people are aware of, there's a lot of different things you can do in film that aren't necessarily working on set. And some people, that's not necessarily their thing. For example, post-production. There's post-production house here in Houston, audio post-production, colorists, visual effects. I have students that are more technical and computer focused and can do opportunities like that. There's also, like I mentioned, production. So there's, myself, Professor Jenny Waldo, also on faculty, will be shooting a short film coming up in the fall, and she's going to want interns on that. We also have just connections with other filmmakers. Last semester, a really great Houston filmmaker, Fatima Hai. I'm sure she's also been interviewed here, also HCC faculty. She was editing a feature film. And so she worked with two students. I think I sent pictures, so I don't know if they'll show up here, but Ruben Aranda and Pammy Esquivel, who were former, I guess, recent graduates or about to graduate. And they worked with her throughout the post-production of her film. I mean, she sat in the edit with them and showed them what she was doing and explained her workflow and process. So for those students who want to be filmmakers, we can offer them that type of mentorship opportunity. And then there's also just like the type of work that you're probably going to get if you're going to be a media professional in Houston, working with clients, doing marketing, those kinds of things. We have lots of companies that are looking for social media managers and people who can help them with that. And that's where I'm seeing a lot of students getting jobs right out of their right out of their internship, because there's a real need for this and people are getting paid good money to do this. So in my last internship class, almost everybody except for one was offered a job out of their internship, and they were in the media field. I'll also mention one other thing. I haven't had students recently like this who are interested in this, but for example, there's a lot of work in churches doing church media teams. We'll always have opportunities for that. And as well, I've been working with MD Anderson on a partnership that's taking forever to figure out, but they also have a training team for internal training at MD Anderson. They create visual media content, animations, things like that. That's all kinds of, roles where our students can go in and work and use their skills and make real money. And so there's a huge variety. I always, whenever a student comes in, I ask them their career goals, and then I try to, help them find the right opportunity for them. But, there's a lot here in Houston, and it can really, set you on any pathway that interests you.
I mean, that's very true. It used to be, years back, if you wanted to say get into television or reporting, you'd have to go work in a smaller market, live somewhere, not make much money at all, and kind of work your way up to a market like Houston. Now, with the advent of social media, everybody's looking for somebody who can shoot it, edit it, write it together, and then help them with marketing certain things. And it seems like the job opportunities have expanded dramatically, even though maybe television station jobs have dried up. Other areas are opening up, whether it go work at a church or a hospital or even for a law firm.
Yeah, true. I mean, it shifts, I guess. That's the thing with media, is there'll be buckets where you can have a lot of returns for a while and then times shift. You're right to mention, I think you said, what did you say? Churches and there's one other that you said.
Churches, law firms, and
real estate, realtors, they make those home videos. So there's a lot of ways to sell your skills. If you can, like you said, if you can produce, if you can light, if you can shoot, if you can edit, and our students have those skills. We hope so.
Now, this internship course is for advanced students. How far advanced do you have to be to get tied into this?
We like to say that it's preferable to take it in your final semester, but because our students don't follow, that 4-year track, or even, sometimes, they're doing their thing, and I love that. But I will typically, take a student with at least 2 semesters of experience with stated career goals and an interest. If they don't quite know what they want, I say wait till you're a little bit later in the program, and you'll have a sharper sense of maybe where you would want to explore professionally. But if people have, an area of professional interest or an offer, there was this great career fair that Career Services and the MVP put on in the fall. It was great. A couple of students got offers right out of internship offers out of that fair. They weren't registered students, but they came to me, like in your example, and I can figure out how to get you enrolled in that class if you do have something that you're wanting to do for credit. A lot of internships these days will pay, but many of them require credit. And so, yeah, I can work with students. We want the students to have the skills to be able to succeed in the internship, of course. But yeah, professionally ready students, I would say. Right. Anybody who's ready for that workplace.
Well, keep sending them to HCC TV when you get a chance too. We're always.
I will. We send them. We always have a few, and they love it. They love it.
Yeah. They do great work. Kate Phillips, we're going to have your contact information in our social media post after the show. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a good morning.
All right. We are going to move on talking about our chemistry program. Dr. Natalie Garza, you've got a special guest joining you as well.
Yes, we have Dr. Grace Zoorob, chair of the HCC Chemistry Department. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Natalie.
So let's begin with a discussion of the degrees that the department offers. Can you tell us about them?
Yeah, our program offers an associate degree in science. It's a 2-year program, and then typically our students move on onto 4-year universities where they continue to get their bachelor's, or they move on into higher degrees as well, like master's degrees or PhDs. Typically, students who take our courses are mostly pre-med students taking prerequisites. And so some of them have to continue to do their careers and get a 4-year college degree after. With with an associate degree of science, typically students can have jobs in industry around the Houston area. But they will make more money if they have a bachelor's degree or higher.
Do we have a teaching track degree in chemistry, or is that not available?
No, we don't have it, unfortunately. It's something to think about because it would be very beneficial. We do have a lot of our students who train through the SI program, the Supplemental Instructor Program. Basically, they take a course in the chemistry department, and then if a student scores a grade of A and is interested in teaching, then we hire them through the Supplemental Instructor Program that HCC offers to help the professors teach. Basically, they hold office hours separately with students, and they work on students outside of class to help them solve problems. They're basically kind of like free tutors for students who need help with some of our more difficult classes. And those students who are supplemental instructors are typically interested in becoming teachers later on. But unfortunately, we don't have a teaching track.
And for those who don't end up going on to 4-year universities, what kinds of employment opportunities are available to them?
We are very fortunate in the Houston area because the oil industry is very robust. And so they can go and get technical jobs in the oil industry all around Houston. We also have some of them work in the environmental industry. Some go into forensics. and work in forensics labs. Some go and do technical work for NASA, but they're all entry-level jobs that don't pay a lot of money. Mostly it's minimum wage or a little higher with just an associate degree. It's just the unfortunate reality that in chemistry, you need to have a higher degree, a bachelor or above, to start making more money.
And I imagine also that there are also a lot of people taking chemistry who maybe are not pre-med, but are going into the medical field, getting their associate's degree, like at Holman and things like that as well.
Of course, we have a lot of students who take our courses who are becoming nurses, who want to be physician assistants and so on. Like the technicians that work in labs, phlebotomists, and they all have to take some chemistry courses at some point.
What is you mentioned labs, what is the lab experience like for the students?
We are trying to improve our lab experience that we give students. Our chemistry, as you know, is an experiential science. You basically study the lecture and learn the concepts, but then you have to do the experiments in the lab to get a feel of how things actually work, or how to do the analytical skills required. For example, if you want to know if a person goes into the emergency room and he is overdosed on something, they draw their blood and then they have to analyze it to figure out what the person overdosed on. And so they have to run the blood through certain instruments like the GC mass spec or LC mass spec to figure out what drug that person took that affected them. And so for our students, we try to mimic what they study in lecture by giving them reinforced experiments in the labs. And we start very slow with them in our intro courses, teaching them how to use the lab equipment, how to do basic experiments. And then as they move up and take higher level classes, then the experiments get to be more in-depth and more elaborate.
And what about the equipment that HCC has available? Is it?
Yeah, we were very fortunate that our faculty got a lot of grants from the federal government. So we were able to purchase very expensive equipment for all our labs on all our campuses. So whether a student goes to a lab in Northline or at Stafford or at Katy, they would all use the same equipment. Some of the equipment that we have, like the NMR, is kind of like an MRI that hospitals use, but it is used to analyze just pure chemicals. So we have those. Those instruments cost upward of $50,000 each, but through our grants, we got an instrument in every single lab campus. Every single lab on every campus at HCC. We also have infrared instruments. We have the GC mass spec instruments. When they, if you ever go through the airport and you get selected and they swab your hands, and then they run it through a machine to figure out if you have any explosives on your hands. Like we have those also, and students get trained on using them. Most of these instruments were purchased through grants that we got from the federal government, but also HCC contributed and bought us a few of those because the money was not enough. So
well, great work.
It's an exciting
faculty.
time.
Yeah, great work by the faculty applying for those, and HCC also stepping up to meet the gap.
Sure.
I was thinking about, during COVID, most of us moved online, and we still have like a lot of online instruction that's very popular with students. How does the chemistry department balance that, given that it does require in-person lab.
Yeah, we during COVID was a very tough time for us because our labs had to be done at home. So we frantically we're trying to figure out what to do. And we tried to utilize in-home material that can be found in everybody's house to do the experiments. We also had some students, we gave them some lab kits that contained chemicals to do the experiments at home. Unfortunately, we learned that this does not provide the learning experiences that we want to give our students. So all our labs are now moved to HCC campuses, and students are required to do the labs in person. For our lectures, though, we learned from COVID that some students prefer to have the lectures at home or during their break time at the offices. And so we offer chemistry is a very tough subject. It requires memorization, math skills, analytical skills. And so a professor is always needed to explain what is going on in the for the concepts. And so we decided that it's best to work with students in an online synchronous way to offer our lectures for our lower level courses, like our introductory chemistry and our general chemistry 1 courses. They are offered in a WS format where students meet with the professors online, and they can interact with the professors if they have any questions.
Okay, so that's a great mix of having, you know, the synchronous online for those who want it, but the lab in person.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dr. Grace Zoorob, Chair of the HCC Chemistry Department. We will have your info after the show.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, we've got some announcements to go through the end of the show. First up, why Black male entrepreneurs matter. HC is hosting a Why Black Male Entrepreneurs Matter event for entrepreneurs to share strategies to promote inclusivity, diversity, and equal opportunities. It happens 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesday, August the 1st. First, it's a hybrid event, and it's at HCC's Administrative Building, 3100 Main, Seminar Room B. Check our post after the show for registration info. And Natalie, we also have an open house registration fair at our Southeast College.
Yes. So turn your passion into a career at HCC Southeast Open House and Registration Fair. Students can meet staff, register for classes, and enjoy the fun activities around campus. And Southeast is really great about hosting these events. It's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturdays, August 12th and August 19th at the Eastside campus. Check HCC's district Facebook page for more information.
Also, there's an Instagram One College exhibition that's ongoing. It's available to view through August the 14th. It's continuing to serve as our gallery walls for an exhibition of studio classes from all HCC colleges, but the gallery closes next month. We'll have a link in our post after the show where you can find out more information and check out this One College exhibition. Subs and Sandwiches are back, Natalie, and that's a virtual event as well.
Yes, Subs and Sandwiches with Tellefson. This is HCC and MBDA are bringing their popular subs and sandwiches, and this time it is being hosted by Tellefson from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. July 16th is the date I have. So check our post after the show for registration info.
All right, we may have another one up going, but we'll have a post, some information in our post. Okay, first step for FAFSA. If you're going to take classes and you need financial aid, you need to fill out a FAFSA application. The FAFSA is the first step in securing your financial aid so you can attend school. Visit HCC's website to get started on the path to success. And fall registration is open. Natalie, I know you guys are looking to get those students in for the fall, and they've got to register soon, especially for the in-person classes.
Right. We still have multiple modalities. There's online anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid, there's in person, and then there's the hybrid lab, just like Dr. Zoorob was talking about. So to learn more about the HCC program, start dates, and options to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
You know, it's hard to believe, but Monday is the last day of July. August kicks off next week. I don't know where this whole summer went. I know I'm happy for it to be ending because it's hot as heck outside and it doesn't seem to be cooling off anytime soon. Next week, we've got Mental Health Monday, Tasty Tuesday, and our Thursday Family Fun Day. All that and more. Natalie, thanks for being here this morning and filling in for us.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend. We'll see you Monday morning live at 10 a.m. for Up to the Minute.